Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and it has happened again. Somebody has taken shots at former President Trump. This time it was on a golf course at, I believe, the Trump International Resort in Florida. And yeah, we have a suspect in custody. We don't know for sure, confirmed, what the name of that suspect is. Although at the time of me recording this video, there is a name floating around. We're going to get into this. But before we do, thank you to everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
So for those of you who are unaware, on Sunday, President Trump was golfing with his buddies, a normal thing that he would normally do, and as he was moving to putt on a specific hole, I believe it's hole 5, the New York Post has an overhead thing that will give you an indication where this was, a man was with a rifle behind a chain link fence with ceramic tiles and a GoPro camera, and he appeared to fire about 4 shots on President Trump, according to reporting done by Sean Hannity, who spoke to President Trump just recently, and this video ended up online on the internet.com. Apparently, the Secret Service immediately tackled him, immediately shielded his body from the first attempt. We know exactly how they would do this, and some Secret Service agents returned fire in that direction. Now, initially, people were reporting that it was a shooting in and around a golf course where the evil orange man was, where he was playing golf, and people speculated that it might be a gang shooting, but it is now confirmed by the FBI, by the local police, that this was in fact an assassination attempt on the evil orange man. And to be clear, it appears that this guy got between 300 and 500 yards of the evil orange man before taking his shot. And what's insane about this is that if you look at the layout of the golf course, it is entirely possible, had he not jumped the gun, so to speak, he might have even gotten a closer shot before he was detected. Now, as I said, there is a guy that is in custody. People are going through the Twitter account of somebody whose name matches the guy that is in custody. And as of right now, what we can tell from that Twitter account, which I will not be showing you the post until everything is confirmed, the guy appears to be a 2016 Trump voter who ended up churning on him in 2020 and now is even more opposed to him. And he also has an inordinate amount of tweets related to Ukraine. However, I will point out that he doesn't have the Ukraine flag in his bio.
1:30 this afternoon, call came out, shots fired. That was called in by the Secret Service. Because we're in constant contact with them all the time, we were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great. So we had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car.
Now, Facebook, of course, took down his Facebook page before we could get any information on the guy. That's really unfortunate because it ends up preventing us from doing our work looking into the person. However, I've decided that I'm not going to name him because I'm shooting this same day, mere hours after it happened, and right now we just don't have confirmation on this. But if true, if this guy has a political motivation for this, and that political motivation is a left-wing motivation, that is really unfortunate for our country, and it just goes to show you how bad the rhetoric has gotten around the evil orange man, who I call the evil orange man as a joke, but many a lefty have compared him to Hitler, and very recently, and crazily enough, we have multiple different news outlets now blaming the evil orange man for the violent rhetoric, even though he was the target of this.
Yeah. Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that? Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay, any threat of violence, we don't want. I would love for us to have a unity type moment, but I think it's probably going to be pretty fleeting, as we've seen in the past.
Look, I expect the media to be really bad. I expect the media to be terrible and biased and all of that. But mere hours after the attempt on President Trump's life, you have hosts on MSNBC saying that President Trump's violent rhetoric is responsible for this, that he is inspiring people to commit acts of violence, when again, he was the victim of this assassination attempt. But that is where our media is at. And this, unfortunately, isn't a one-off. There's also a clip from NBC News, again, related to MSNBC, where we have similar language coming from the hosts. And to me, this is maddening.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. This weekend, there were new bomb threats in that town. Our Maggie Vespa is in Columbus, Ohio, with more.
Look, I need to make something 100% clear to everybody out there in the audience so you can understand that this is not about pearl clutching or anything like that. I am fine with political rhetoric that heats up. I am fine with political rhetoric that paints your opposition as bad for the nation because you are running a campaign against that person. And let's be perfectly honest, decorum has dropped out of our political process a long time ago. That being said, when you do that, when you commit to that level, when you call your opponent a threat to democracy, when you call him Hitlerian and all these other various things that the mainstream media routinely does to the evil orange man, and then somebody who potentially might think that they're actually dealing with a Hitler-like figure does the logical response to if they actually believed Hitler was rising, you then can't wash your hands of it, or more importantly, you can't blame him for the people that want to hurt him. That is absurd in every possible way. That is insane in every possible way, and it's absolutely cowardice, and we would not accept that result for anyone if they were ever put in danger. And to be 100% clear, this attempt on President Trump and the previous attempt are horrible for our country. Any attempt on any president, on any candidate for president, has the potential to scar this nation for years to come. And in particular, the evil orange man is especially vulnerable to scarring this nation, because imagine the impact that it would have, not just on the perception of the Democratic Party, on the perception of the United States government, but on the perception of the Republican Party. You can't tell me that there aren't people, had this been successful, that would immediately start blaming J.D. Vance as well as the Harris campaign and the Biden administration. The fact of the matter is, the American people thinking that politicians are willing to kill their political opposition is not a good thing. It is not something that helps us move forward. But in this particular case, it appears, again, as of right now, suspect yet to be officially identified by the Florida police at the time of me recording this video, that might be the case. We might have somebody who's motivated by political positions, by opposition to the evil orange man, specifically related to Russia, Ukraine, which he seems to be posting about a lot. And that is a severe issue, especially when you remember that the evil orange man was harsher on the nation of Russia while in office than Biden was prior to the invasion of Ukraine. If you'll remember, Trump added lethal aid to the package of what he was delivering to the Ukrainians before the invasion while he was still in office, and President Biden essentially did what every single politician has done since they took office as president, post Putin actually being the ruler of Russia, which was try a Russian reset strategy. So he pulled back that lethal aid, Russia invaded, and maybe the reason why they invaded is because of this potential Russian reset. So the idea that the evil orange man colluded with Russia or any of these things, that this person allegedly, if he is the same person, and if that same person has that Twitter account, was obsessed with, is a media creation. It is the consequences of their rhetoric.
But long story short, so they were playing, they were on the fifth hole. And the way Steve described this, the way the president described it, they both had exactly the same story, which was that they heard pop, 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 pop. And Steve went into great specificity and great detail as to what happened right after. Within seconds, the Secret Service pounced on the president, covered him. You had snipers with tripods. They knew the direction where the shots had been fired, and they had eyes on the location where the shots had been fired. And long story short, they were. I have confirmed with both the president and with Mr. Witkoff that the gun has been found. They identified it as an AK-47, and thanks to Secret Service drone video coverage, they were able to identify one individual involved in this shooting getting into a car after dropping the AK-47. And my understanding, according to both of them, is that that car has been identified, and I believe it's been surrounded. Whether or not that person has been apprehended or not, I don't know.
Now, I will also point out that this comes after a bunch of different polling agencies show that Trump is tightening in the race, and the most accurate polling agency from 2020 and 2022 actually demonstrates that the evil orange man is not only in the lead in the overall election, which is the Electoral College, but actually took a 3-point lead in the popular vote. So this is the number one most likely person to be president of the United States, the Republican nominee, somebody who was the 45th president of the United States of America, that is facing yet another attempt on his life. And yeah, this has disastrous implications for the Secret Service, especially when you have the press conference post this, where they talk about how, well, listen, like, we do take precautions and all that. And to be clear, they did dive on the president immediately, according to the people that Sean Hannity spoke to, but he's not the president, so we didn't completely surround the perimeter. We didn't do all the precautions that we would do for somebody who is currently the president of the United States, which I can understand and I think makes sense to a certain degree, but the fact of the matter is he is a former president, and almost to the date, 2 months ago, he was subject to another assassination attempt. So all of those things that they say make sense under normal circumstances, but considering this just happened, considering he was just shot, remember, he was hit with one of the bullets, this to me is just an untenable thing to say at this moment in time, even if logically under normal circumstances it would make perfect sense. Now, a lot of people are going to allege and tie this to their political opponents and use it for political purposes. We shall see what the reaction is post this. I've already been on twitter.com and seen absolutely horrific reactions from people on the left, and we shouldn't be surprised at those reactions from people on the left. Remember, when Trump's brother died while Trump was in office, the number one trending thing on social media was hashtag wrong Trump, because a lot of these people were rooting for the evil orange man to die. So you cannot be surprised that not only those people, but the people in the media that pander to those people are kind of ambivalent about this, are kind of excited about this, even though I just will point out that this is disastrous in multiple ways. Kamala Harris is under Secret Service protection. Joe Biden is under Secret Service protection. The fact of the matter is, a bunch of other former presidents are under Secret Service protection. So what you're looking at right now with another failure of the Secret Service with the evil orange man, while he's probably the most prominent person who is not president of the United States under Secret Service protection, is something for every single other person to be concerned about. It's something for every single other person to take seriously, to react to, and it's absolutely devastating in every possible way. Now, I know people are going to have their conspiracies. I know they're going to say that it was the Democrats and all this stuff. And again, I would say set that aside for now and just focus on the facts at hand as we have them. Wait for the state of Florida to confirm who this guy was. Remember, they have that transparency law, so when he's actually arrested and booked, his mugshot and information will become public. We will be able to view that, but dig into the potential suspects that are currently going out online and see if you can find any crucial information that might lead to a motivation. And again, this guy was captured alive. They found a GoPro camera. They found stuff that was potentially there to deflect against gunfire that was returned in his direction. And they found his rifle, and he was close enough where that rifle could have been effective in order to take out the president. So we got very close yet again, second time in just under or just over 2 months. and it's something that is very concerning. So yeah, while I would say let's call for calm down in this particular moment, the evil orange man is fine, the most important thing that I want you guys to all know is that when we have this guy's name confirmed, I will likely review all of the confirmed information about him in a later video. That being said, there's one other thing that I need to address, and that is the 3 names versus 2 names thing. You only get 3 names if you successfully assassinate a sitting US president. That is just a fact that we have to deal with. So anybody reporting that this guy has 3 names is fake news, just like with Thomas Crooks. Again, there is no credit for missing those particular shots. So I don't make the rules. I just want you guys to know that. I'm just enforcing them. You don't get the infamy of Lee Harvey Oswald or John Wilkes Booth by failing to assassinate somebody. The guy who shot Reagan, he did not get the 3rd name. He's considered John Hinckley Jr., not John Warnock Hinckley Jr., because that's the rule. That is the important thing that I need to establish. And again, it's not my rule. It is the standards and norms in the United States of America. So yeah, I'm glad the evil orange man is okay. It would be horribly scarring, and I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on, if either one of these candidates had something bad happen to them or the sitting president had something bad happen to him. So people really need to just tone it down with the person that I'm opposed to is evil Hitler and democracy going to destroy the entire union. And, you know, if you're out there, maybe you should do something to stop him. That is the implication of those words. I know, of course, I'm speaking into the void because these warnings will go unheeded, but I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. As usual, if you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me with the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about yet another attempt on the evil orange man's life. Till next time.